Chapter 47.
I can't fall asleep. Getting these weird thoughts again. They just appear. Feels like I am drowning. Feels like I am a child still. Drowning in deep water and my oxygen-deprived brain starts racing. My nerve ends tingle and I just can't. I can't rest. I try to turn off my default network via the psychotherapist prescribed software. But it just doesn't work. I see the visual electrical mechanism turn off. And then fire up in purple and dark green and all sorts of brilliant flickering colors. I see the tabula rasa cage of my mind where thoughts and fantasies appear without substance. I just see the matrix of it. Ready to merge another thought, another image, another suppressed memory. You there? Are you sleeping already, Hein?
Ulrich murmured in the dark.
Yeah, I hear you. I am still awake.
She was wasting time in a flower simulation watching the sunset, mediating in the fake beauty of it all. Dear birds and nothing but warm colors.
I don't see the point of it all. I just kill people. What for? I'm just not happy, Hina.
You're feeling down. Don't worry about it. You will rest, and tomorrow morning, everything will be good again.
Ina tried to comfort Ulrich. She didn't really want to invest energy yet another time into the void of his psychological issue unless she really had to.
Tell me how I was brought into this world one more time, please. I'd like to hear the story. You have a nice voice, too.
Ulrich begged.
Your mother was a young girl. Still a child, really. The sky was dark, filled with clouds heavy as whales. She was standing in the mud with bare feet, hopeless and helpless, holding you in her belly. She had to give birth any moment, but there was no place suitable for it. The night was damp and the ground cold and wet. The city was in ruins. There was still warmth falling from the streetlights. A line of tanks rolled past her. There was gunfire in the distance. She started crying. One of the tanks stopped and helped her inside. Soon after, she gave birth to you on one of the soldiers' coats. A kind general, the father of Chief Tegasara, provided her shelter in a small side room of a military base watchtower. He hoped your crying would keep the guards awake.
Heine giggled a little.
What about my father?
Ulrich knew the answers, but he was trying to hear something. He wasn't sure what he was looking for. It was the way Heine said it. It all seemed like a dream to him. Surreal, like fading out of the ever-present sense of reality, like becoming the backseat passenger of an empty car. Driving late at night with headlights on, but no one's behind the wheel. Ulrich believed it was a temporary depersonalization syndrome manifestation.
He probably was a soldier who fell in the war. There are no records whatsoever.
Or what Heine never dared to say, but she allowed the thought in her head, was that the father was a man, soldier or not, who used the circumstances of the chaos. That was war. To rape a young girl.
What about my mother?
Ulrich had imagined the death of his mother thousands of times.
She stepped on a landmine, meant to tear off a leg, but because she was so fragile and young, the explosion killed her. There is no information on where she was going. Perhaps to see your father. We will never know.
And even if they did know, they would not dare to say. They would lie to Ulrich and surround him with a fabricated reality.
Born in a tank, I basically became a soldier with the first breath I took. I am a child of the military.
It's true. A genetically enhanced war baby. An absurd killing machine.
Yeah, and as the psychologist told you, the images of you drowning as a child are just from the pre-mortal stress syndrome. It's you in your mother's belly getting the signals of uncertainty if you'll live.
There was also a paper written by one of the scientists involved in Ulrich's cellular enhancement that speculated his altered genome might have brought forth coding which should have stayed hidden. Ulrich was the symbol of a blind warrior with keen eyes.
The world is a strange place.
Ulrich wanted to ask why the world was a strange place, but he knew that he was just a piece of meat. A blob of energy doing its thing just like any other life form. He knew he was small, just like his mother's body torn to pieces by the explosion with blood soaking into the ground. He just couldn't calm his nerves or his shaking heart to be at rest that night.
It is all right. It is just the way life is.
Hina really didn't want to go on a space flight to recognize how tiny she was. Now that she was pretty again, she just wanted to be herself. She wanted to enjoy social life, even if she had grown aloof over the years and disconnected from others long ago. She had been floating in zero gravity forever. Alone.
I will go for a beer. Do you want me to bring you something?
Rich was getting out of the bed. He was about to take a little selfish introversion milking ride. The whole universe was about to appear inside his head.
No, I will try to sleep. Please be silent when you come back.
Heine rolled over onto her side. Rich looked at Heine's hair and silky back. He then jumped into his sweatpants, a hoodie, and a pair of kickers. Rich walked to a closed-by bar and sat there watching a war game replay. The Mexican Huertas were absolutely dumpstering the Sydney Spiders, but they got too cocky in the end game, and the Australians boomeranged themselves into victory. It was a common tactic used by the Islanders that worked like a charm. Rich drank 4 beers and returned home. Rich quietly relaxed next to Heine. He still had plenty of time to get sleep, but it didn't matter. What mattered was that he felt happy from all the beer. He enjoyed the bubbling in his brain and the warmth in his belly. He found peace within, a tranquility any living being would envy. His life was all right.